Hi guys, I'm just trying to set this up, so I'll have Fabrice joining me shortly for us to progress with our conversation on HR matters. So I think we have about 16 more minutes to go. Just wanted to make sure that this is working. Let's see. Okay. I'm doing well, thank you. Sorry, I'm just trying to quickly set this up. So we'll be starting the conversation at exactly 6 p.m. GMT. Just give us a few more minutes. 1 second. Is it not allowing me to do that? Yeah, this is interesting. Let's see. Well, 1 second, Jen. 1 second. Let's see. Um, okay, let me try and redo this again. 1 second. Looks like your profile is not getting added as desired. 1 second. Okay, we have Fabrice on. Fabrice, are you there? I did see your request popping up. Can you try it one more time? I need someone to confirm if you guys are able to hear me. Someone should just type in the chat that you're able to hear me nicely, please. So Fabrice, I've sent you a request to join. Yeah, great, excellent.
Okay, now I'm using my phone. Let me try to connect on my
Okay,
iPad.
that's good. Good to see you, man.
Very, very good. The technology is new to me, to use like.
Yeah, even me, I think this is like my first time to do a live video with someone. So I had to do a bit of some research before starting the live feed.
Okay, so I think that I will be connecting with my phone. I wanted to use my iPad to be
Oh,
like
okay,
this, but let
that's
me.
fine.
Okay.
Are you guys able to hear us? Okay. Oh, okay. Alice, you're saying we look alike. I think I need to share some photos with you guys. That's when you're going to see the resemblance. Just a second. How are things going in Ivory Coast? It's been a while since we last spoke.
Yeah, so I moved now. I'm now in Senegal at the moment. I'm in Senegal at the moment with your friend Tidiane.
Oh, okay. Interesting. How long have you been there now?
So I'm in and out since March. So
Okay.
since March, Senegal, Ivory Coast, and sometime Nigeria.
Oh, okay, great. And congratulations on your new role.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
How?
I'm getting my language to meet you soon.
Yeah, no, I mean that's how it works. That's how it works. So when I looked at your profile on LinkedIn, I was able to see that you are looking after West Africa, East Africa, and Central Africa, right?
Yeah.
How does your headcount look like? How many people do you have in your team?
So we are roughly about 300 people because we do a lot of direct shipment. Working with some broker there, but we are expanding on the East Africa market at the
Oh,
moment.
okay, that's good. And what line of business are you guys in?
So I cannot talk
Oh, okay.
because of confidentiality and not promoting what we are doing, but we are on tobacco.
Oh, okay. That's good. That's good. Yeah.
We are trying
So
to shift from normal, usual cigarette to electronic.
oh, I see. I see. That's very impressive. So I've been getting a lot of just questions generally from friends, followers, and people on my page. So I figured maybe I could bring you in, looking at your expertise, and just see how you can help us answer some of these HR related questions. Of course, I mean you've I can get some feedback. Are you able to mute the other device?
Is it me or others?
I I I think so. Yeah, I think it's good
Uh,
now.
okay, because I've muted
Oh,
everything here.
okay, great. Yeah, so I was saying, having looked at your profile, I think you've had very extensive experience, not just locally, but just across the region. And some of the questions that I was getting had partly to do with how people can just traverse the corporate environment, how people can aspire for international careers, how they can grow within their careers in respective organizations, and just how they can prepare for some of these interviews. So I think we are very lucky to have you around today, and we are hoping we're going to have some of these questions answered. So maybe before I even begin the conversation, are you able to just share a little bit how you found yourself in the HR world?
So yes, I thank you, and first of all, thank you for everyone joining. I think it's quite a good opportunity and a good way to spend a few time on Saturday on personal development matters. I think it's quite important. I was saying, I think yesterday to a friend that, growing into business, you end up understand that business is made by humans, so people, to provide good or service to people, and to also give profit to people. So essentially, everything we are doing about work or business is about human beings. So being in HR and playing this role for a specific company is a very good one that I really enjoy. I found a sense of purpose within that. There is nothing more grateful than taking someone from like starting his career and then the person grow. But most importantly, achieve his purpose. Is it by doing your own business or going like different layers upward within an organization? I think both are based on your purpose is a good role that I'm playing as human resources. So being part of this session today is something that I easily can do as part of my purpose of giving much that I can, but I think that is also a two ways of session. Your question, people question, also will help us to think more about ourselves and also are in the right path. So talent is important, performance is important, human to human or employee and employer relationship also important. So yeah, we can cover I think what your audience will find relevant for today. And also if you they have some question around personal development, because this is also a big component of the human resources world. But unfortunately, resources or our traditional education system are not giving that space to people. So yeah.
Excellent. That's a very good and elaborate explanation. So one of my former supervisors, I think, also touched a little bit on what you're saying. I think part of what we do as humans, if it's going to be long lasting, it has to be linked somehow to what our purpose is, and just in general what we intend to do for mankind. So it's so interesting and nice to hear that you're sort of like linking your career to fulfilling your purpose, and by extension also fulfilling the purpose of other people. So initially when you started, did you start out in human resource, or you just transitioned into human resource? How did you make that transition?
That's a good one. So I started by doing. My background is on business law, so I have a master's degree in business law, also in insurance. And after that, I had that opportunity at my previous company, Unilever, where there has a management training program, which we're looking for human resources, marketing, etc. So I start off straight after few internship in legal department. After that, so I started really my career into the human resources. And as you know me, it comes as natural to me to be
Right.
a human resources person. So I was like, okay, I didn't know I will enjoy so much having to play part of people's life on that area. And then for me, it's natural to be a HR.
Excellent. So, judging from that comment, so you started off as an intern, went on to the graduate trainee program, then you transitioned into HR. So most people that I meet, they tend to sort of like downplay the importance of taking up internships. What would you be your comment on that?
I think even prior to internship, you need to take your life seriously. As a teen, you need to embrace opportunity to impact and, your space. I would say this comes to your early stage leadership behavior. So even being part of community, is it in your religious space, your social space, this is where you start building interpersonal skills, project management skills. Just to give you a bit of history, in Cote d'Ivoire, in 2010, we had like a crisis. And after that, I was feeling like, I need to play a part to bring people together in my neighborhood. So I organized a competition, a basketball competition, but also a renewal of all the playgrounds into the neighborhood. So I had to family, discuss, give a sense of this project, why this project, how it will be impactful, etc. Why I'm taking this long point is because when I was doing my application, it played a role on showing leadership. So internship is an opportunity for you to start building your experience, your connection, but you should start it even before that, but playing an active part into your community or your social life. Because at the end of the day, we deal with people, as I mentioned, we manage resources and everything. You need to take opportunity to learn and to build that knowledge.
Absolutely. So, what would you say are some of the do's and don'ts when someone is working on an internship? Is there something they need to do, something they don't need to do, and what should they really look out for?
Okay, good. So when you go somewhere in general, and if we take a company, you need to understand what is a company, what a company means, what's the purpose of the company. So when you understand that, what will be your role as an intern? One, be clear that you embrace the professional world, so you need to act professional, like you are a full-time person. You don't come as someone that they will use, but you come as someone that will learn and contribute. So this will be your first things in terms of mindset shift. Second thing, how you show up to people. I think we say that a lot, but it's very important that you need to be always clean, like well dressed, not expensive, but professional and clean. We know that most of the interns, unless you have rich parents, you don't have that much money, but you need to present yourself very, very clean. Second thing, listen. It's very important to listen. As a trainee, you come, try to understand first before anything. So be curious, ask questions, and look for opportunity to learn. One thing also, if you look at even in the past, when you look at middle age time, people used to do apprenticeship. There is a mindset behind it. You follow your master, you learn from your master, and you don't get paid. So as interns, your sacrifice is for you like an extension of your learning process. You I think that an interns need to have means to come to office. This is quite important. But from the mindset perspective, one is that I'm coming there to learn and to contribute. So this will be. So the don't will be obviously everything like being too much talkative, going into gossiping, because if you see people together, you are not the same age. Each one has his purpose, and that will make the differentiation. You don't spend too much time at the canteen. You don't come late never come late except you have a reason for that. And if that comes, be polite and professional to inform in advance. Like I'm in traffic, I'm seeing that the traffic will be bad. It will take me 30 minutes or 1 hour more. Then I call ahead, not like time is there and now calling to say that no, be proactive. This is one of the key things you need to do. And when they give you a task to do, if you don't know, ask. Ask as a learner. What I mean by that, you don't say, oh, I don't know I'm in Tencent, is give me that job. That's not the way it. You ask to understand what do I need to complete, by what time do I need to complete, and what are the means that I have to complete the task. And this search for clarification, I mean, even at leadership position, remain very important. So if I take myself, I don't think that from my mindset I had at Intense until now, things have changed. No, I think I had the same willingness to do things, to climb mountains. The difference is the experience. So from early age, I believe that, and early in your career, get that mindset of, I want to be that person. I want to, how you visualize yourself. And your ambition can grow over time, but your inner anger and the willingness to do things, you don't have to be trapped into everyday things and lose it.
Oh, okay. No, that's a very valid point. I like the part where you mentioned that internships should be taken as an opportunity to learn, contribute to overall organizational goals, and just pretty much using it as an opportunity for you to stand out and be noticed. So, what would you say is the best way of striking a balance between learning and also sharing your thoughts around how things are supposed to be done, for instance?
Yeah, so this is what people said emotional intelligence, because when you come to a meeting, you need to read the leadership style of your boss. Some boss will be open, and I think that now we see it more and more, to ask for feedback from everyone. But it's not granted. So you need to like really look at your boss style. So let's be practical. So I'm coming to a company, and my boss is giving me like to do a report. I'll do the report. I need to do it like perfect, 100%, asking the question and the means and collect to help you to support you. So you need to build trust, because before you take into account someone's opinion, you need to trust the person. And as an intern, the first job that they give you, make it 100% a perfect job.
Excellent.
Like your, this is where you get trust. And when you get trust, then your opinion will be asked or will be heard. But before that, you are coming out of the blue, no, even you are a geek. So for instance, I had intent when, this, I like young people because they are bold, and this is quite important. So if you ask someone, with the IA things to do a digital thing for you, as an intern, if you come and you go extra mile, you go out of the boss, as we say, your boss will be impressed, and then the conversation can really start. But again, emotional intelligence is very important. I'm telling you, and I think that, let me put it as African, sorry to say that, but as an African, we should be very emotional intelligent, because the way you speak to your father, to your uncle, to your friend, it frame you into knowing and understanding when you can say something, when you have to downplay things, and big things, humility. If you want to be heard, be humble. I think there is nothing such a gift as being humble, and this is, I think, the way that you get that trust, and people will come to you to ask you for advice.
That's very true. So one of the observations that I've made in my my own journey. When I look back, for instance, at people that I was with at secondary school, like very brilliant guys, if you try to check where they are and what they are doing, a good number of them with very good grades, but you find that they are not really progressing at that level that you expect them to progress. And I think part of it for me is the humility aspect that you mentioned, because a lot of us tend to think if we're academically gifted, then we can somehow dictate how things are supposed to be done in organization, which I think for me is a very wrong approach.
Yeah. It's two different worlds. It's two different worlds.
Exactly. So looking at the fact that you've been in this space for a long time, I know a lot of people inquire around how they can be effective in interviews, how they can get certain jobs. Are there any tips that you think people should align themselves to in order for them to be successful in interviews?
Yeah, I think first of all, and let me maybe I will take a step back and you will see how it helps with the questions. When you go for a role, don't go with a mindset that okay, there is opportunity, I want to go there. Be clear on how this position will help your purpose. Maybe, with the unemployment rate, sometimes we need to be realistic. Some opportunity comes and you just want to work, but at least be clear with that. Is it for some time? Is it for a long time? It is so have a career goals and ambition. So first, you need to understand what is the company and what the company I'm applying is doing. Second thing, what will be the goal of the role that I'm playing, in which department, what are the different interaction, and if you can understand the early problem that maybe your role will involve. So once it's done, I think the similar, if you have an interview stage, it means that you have already been shortlisted and considered for the role. So this is a good step. I mean, it means that we look at a lot of CVs and you are part of the potential candidate to be taken. So once you go now to the interview, make sure that you are clear with timing, because you are professional. So sometimes people can ask you, sometimes a timing that not fit, but because you are begging, you feel like okay, and you may find yourself in a position where you cannot act at the best of your chances. So be assertive to say, okay, I can do at this timing. Is it online or is it face to face? I think today the online is getting more and more something that people are doing since COVID-19. But both situations, be clear on the timing and how you will go there. So if it's online, make sure that you check your connection. In this part of the world, connection is playing a big
Absolutely.
role. So we are fortunate to have a good one today, but be sure that you have your connection. Read your CV before going, and even share your CVs to someone to read with you, to like identify some mistakes that you don't have. If between the time you have been called and you change something on your CV, you can have an updated that you may share again before the meeting, if it adds value to your candidacy, if I may say it like that. And then during the interview, uh, prepare your elevator speech. That also you need to repeat with someone at home that you trust, so that when you speak, the word will come like naturally. I think this is quite important as well. During the interview, prepare, today there are a lot of basic questions. that you really need to be, why do you apply for the role, what will be your contribution, what are areas that you need to improve, etc., etc. So these are questions you must learn and get your answer ready. Don't lie at all, because you don't know who knows who, and
That's true.
don't lie. Don't lie. It will follow you, and it will find you big time. So, and during the interview, after the interview, prepare your question. These are questions to check if you can fit with the position, and also question that you want to clarify. Don't talk about money in the beginning. For sure, if you are selected, they will come and they will ask you your expectation, your earnings, etc. And don't forget to say thank you. And with the time that we are having, sometimes you may not be the retained candidate. It doesn't mean that you are not skilled, but it means that maybe you are not fitting with the company current situation. This you so sometimes when people fail to some interviews, they get like demotivated, blah blah blah. No, no, no. Look at what you have done good, what you have done bad, what you can improve for next time. But take it as a learning opportunity. And if you are successful, get ready to prove that what you have said, you are able to deliver that.
That's that's very nice. So I think having followed you, you've pretty much touched on a number of soft skills that potential candidates are supposed to have. But coming to the technical aspect of it, as HR professionals, what is it that you really look out for in someone's resume for you to, for instance, have a sense that they can do the job or they are a right fit for the role that you are recruiting for?
So on the technical part, we usually call one of the manager or supervisor to also have some probing questions. We also use some technical assessment like case study or questions. So on the technical part, you have like a lot of things. Even on the soft skills, what we are looking, I think, it depends of the type of profile, but what I will say in general, collaboration skills is critical. Communication, critical. Stakeholder management and influence, critical. Problem solving, critical. You can link problem solving and analytical skills. You can pair it. So these are, I think, the most common. If you can collaborate, if you are humble, again, that you can listen to other people. You can influence and share your opinion. I think these are basic things and basic requirements that you made you stand out.
That's so nice to know. So oftentimes I hear people saying they would rather hire character over someone's qualifications. They would rather hire someone who's perceived to be honest as opposed to someone who's just qualified. How do you HR professionals know those things? Like, how are you able to tell that this person, I think, has got the right character to fit into this role we want to fill? And how do you know that this person is actually driven for them to perform on that role?
So what we do, because what we call character, we will now call leadership skills or behavioral skills. So depending on the company, they will focus on some particular leadership skills. I think that's very important. And if you go to multinational or a company that takes seriously this assessment, they have already questions that they prepare, ready, and test to ask someone. And based on that, they will see if a person is well on those. But the best way for a candidate to answer any of these questions is to use what we call the STAR model. STAR, S for situation, T for task, A for action, and R for results. What was the situation? What role you have to play? What action you have done, and what was the result? So if you go through this frame, you can, by defining the situation, we can see what was the leadership kind of challenge you have to face. When you go on to this task, you know what technical things that you have done. When you go to action, action always comes with leadership and the challenges that you have to overcome, and results will be the impact that you play. So if you keep this model, they call it STAR, you can Google it. It's very important.
Thank you. So one of the things that I've noticed, having moved from Africa to the US, is just generally how interviews are conducted. I think back home in Africa, they are pretty much more structured, like it would be question type of interviews, a few scenarios here and there. But what I noticed when I moved here was that most interviews are actually conversational. So someone will invite you for coffee, someone will invite you for a meal, you have a conversation, and in the process, they're trying to assess how good you are and whether you do fit in that role that they want to hire for. So for a person who's looking for international opportunities, what would be your guidance in regard to how they can carry themselves on these conversations and just how they can make a lasting impression to get hired?
So one thing, I'm laughing because if you compare companies in our area versus in developed country, you will see that even people stop working, the basic process are there. The process will carry. So it's more on the how you perform that is important versus here, where the process itself, has not been well managed. And if you don't play it, it will be difficult. So I think it's contextual on the what and the how. So someone living here and being interested in going abroad, you need to make sure that your learning agility is high. You are ready to unlearn and to learn quickly. This is on the technical part because you will have all the means to learn. You can learn on job, you can learn online, you can have a personal trainer. All the things are available. So they are not that much worried about you getting able to get the technical. But for you, you need to be agile to say, okay, learning agility, I think it's one of the key skills that has been called out by many companies. Unlearn, relearn, unlearn, relearn, execute. So you need to have that agility. And then when you go there, you need to find a way, to be like immersion on the cultural level. How do you understand the culture? How do you understand the principle? I think you remember when we do the Mandela Washington Fellowship, we spend a lot of time to be like immersed into the culture. I think this is very important. And the third one is definitely what you mentioned, your skills, soft skills. What are the skills needed in that role? Am I playing on, am I working on a production line? What will be my role on the production line? There are adverts on this part where you need to be like auto maintenance, you need to quickly identify the problem, be able to report the problem. When like you are a team manager, you need to know how to affect resources where they will matter most. This is your role, how you report to leadership, how to you bring team together to work on project base. And by the way, I haven't mentioned it, but everyone attending this session or that will be listening to it need to have basics on project management. Because on project management, this is the way that abroad most of the work are designed. You don't necessarily have direct reports, but you need to be able to build a project team, to work with people, manage the resources, and get the result and deliver.
That's very true. So I think judging from a few companies that I've worked for so far, I think that's sort of like the approach that they follow in just assessing how people are performing and what sort of improvements need to be made in that particular area. But coming to the aspect of growth in your role, I know a number of people get into these roles. Along the way, they get stuck, they can't progress, they've sort of like pretty much hit the ceiling. What causes that?
I would say it's life. Life is hard. That's one of the reasons that I always go to university to give lecture or discuss with young people, because people tend to be under their comfort zone and forget their dream. This is the biggest issue that people have when they stop evolving. What happened? You maybe comfort, good salary, family, everything good, and you say, okay, I'm good here. Why should I take risk to do something else? And then you don't challenge yourself, you don't challenge your knowledge, and things are going fast. You get caught up, and then you are done. Versus, you may say, okay, I think life is done for me. I cannot continue. I think my children will take on. And, these are the soft message that you give to your unconscious mind, and you finally stuck there and you become like, you blame people. There is a good book called Conscious Business. I think it's from Kaufman, Fred Kaufman or something, but very important because it comes to what will be your responsibility, what is your role, what do you play into your development. Instead of saying I've been in this company for 10 years, for 18 years, I've suffered this, suffered that, but the person you are talking to were not there all of this time, and it will move on. So one thing, identify your purpose. That's why I started today our discussion on purpose. What do you want to achieve into your career? That will help you to build resilience, because everything is not like a smooth trip. You have wins, you have issues, a lot of things. People may see you now, but they don't know all of the challenges that you have to overcome. But because you have a purpose, you have a goal, a career goal, your resilience comes and help you to advance. Second thing, think about pivoting. If you are stuck for some time and the company is not giving you the opportunity and you think that you dream big, do your self-assessment first. Ask your manager, what skills I need to develop? What am I missing to the next step? Ask your counterparts, ask your friends, ask your wife, whoever you think can be true to you, collect that feedback. That's why people say feedback is a gift, because everything may not be true, but you may get a trend. Based on these trends, you say, okay, let me develop, let me work. And if you still work harder and you have like people say, oh, you are evolving, then you can decide to pivot. Not pivot because you are not happy, but because you are ready to take on a new challenge. I will finish on that with one sentence that I received from one of my boss at that time. Act as your N plus one, so that the N plus one position will be open for you.
That's very interesting. You should be able to be in a position where you're looking forward to your next role. And one other thing that I've also noticed in the workplace is that other than being ready for these roles that we aspire for, most times we don't work towards the skill set required for that particular role. I remember the time when I was in banking. I think I spent quite a lot of time working in retail banking, but I really wanted to move into wholesale banking. And I think one of the things that I first had to do was to make sure I understood exactly what the role I was looking at required in terms of the skill set, in terms of the time, in terms of the qualifications, in terms of everything. And I think coming to your point, that's very important. As you are assessing where you want to go in the next stage of your career, you need to be very sure in terms of what that particular role demands and what sort of skills are required for you to excel in that particular role. Now, based on your experience again, Fabrice, imagine a person, they get stuck into this role, they can't move forward. Maybe sometimes it's because they have this supervisor who doesn't want to push them ahead. Are there any options for them?
I mentioned pivoting, and I think one thing which is important when you are a company, you need to build network. It's not doing politics per se. It means that you are doing things that other people than your boss can see. What does it mean? I am on a content, for instance, in a company, and they have like a company wide project on sensitizing people on any topic that you want, this kind of initiatives. Be part of it. Be part of it because you will meet people out of your function. Uh, you will work with people that will see your value in a different manner, and that will see how you can contribute. But if you play the 9 to 5 hour time, you will lose it. Second things, go to your professional body like Association of Human Resources, Association of Accountant. Go because if you are stuck, it means that you do the work at ease. It buys you some time to do other things. Go and be active in this community because then also you will get experience. You will learn what others are doing differently, and may come with better ideas in doing your work, or you may get better opportunity outside of your work. But don't stay there. Showcase your skills in different manner, and it also gives you time if you want to do a certification that will open doors for your career. Or and you mentioned it, you take the job description of the job's specifics of what you are aiming to, and you look, I'm not checking the boss here. Am I good on negotiation? How can I build negotiation skills? Which project do we have in that company that can help me to build that? Should I go on training, etc., etc.? Look a 360 approach. That is looking at your manager, and then you will start developing anger, illness, stress. Is not good. This manager, if you look at the forest, is not even a tree amongst everything. So don't don't stuck there. Don't be stuck there.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. And I think to our friends who've joined the live feed, thank you so much for your comments. I did see one interesting comment from Yusuf. I
Yeah.
think he was referring to that aspect where you mentioned the importance of being emotionally intelligent. Um, And I think you also mentioned another important point, like just generally what can get you ahead in the workplace. You need to be able to act like your boss. And I think for me, just building up on that comment that Yusuf has posted in the chat, sometimes we get some of these opportunities largely because we are able to go far and beyond our role. So if, for instance, there are certain activities happening in the next department, are you able to join in, learn? If there's anything else that need to be done company-wide, are you able to avail yourself and also make your contribution? Because I think growth really depends on how versatile you are, how easily you can fit into the organizational structure, and just pretty much how knowledgeable you are about the operations of the company. And I think all those skills, you sort of like build them when you are able to go far and beyond what your current role. So thank you so much, Yusuf, for that comment. The other question that I had for you was, I'm sure on a daily basis you see people, you see employees, you see guys coming in, they rise within the ranks of the company. How can someone sustain that energy or drive to keep going and not get burnt out?
I think as you first things, and I will repeat it. Purpose, is so important. So it's like someone taking a boat and going to the sea. So if you are seated and you look at the sea, it don't seem like that's much big because you see the horizon line and you may think that, yeah, this is over there. But when you start, you realize that there are more room. And at the end, you will see that there are too many opportunities. So I think the end go as you progress and the complexity, the challenges will come. So for these people, they don't feel stressed. They feel energized to seize the next opportunity. And this is what we call in our jargon drive. Do you have a drive, this internal energy that you carry over. And as you grow, some responsibilities come up, your family, your community. So this is where you need to play balance between how I focus my skills on what will really matter. And when you start to do that, you become a very great leader because now you are a well-balanced person, still focused on achieving the dream. Sometimes you will listen people saying that act as a kid, and you say these people are talking bullshit. But when you think about it, kids are always learning, curious, achieving. Can I try this? Can I do this? So I'm having, so we create an iPhone. It's iPhone 1. Can I have a 2? We have a 3? Can we go to the moon? Yes, but can we, these questions, like small questions that you have to ask yourself, and continue. Because at the end of the day, if you start dreaming, let's take, this is a personal view on Mandela. That gets that the guy stopped dreaming of freedom or going out of jail. By the time people come and say, hey, you can go out, he will be going at home, sitting at home, and and drink a good NSC, But your dream, your inner dream, this is what will feed you. And you will see these people, even director, VP, they feel like, I need to learn something. I'm missing something. I'm not, I think this is where they never get satisfied. Never.
No, that's very true. So the other day I had a conversation with a friend of mine. He's an IT director somewhere, and jokingly I was telling him, I was like, why is it that you enjoy going to school? Because I think the guy is studying almost like all the time. And the response that he gave me really got me thinking, because it was like, I think if you're aspiring for leadership, your appetite to learn new things should be like very high. You should be vulnerable enough to relearn what you've already learned in the past, pick up new skills, and continue forging forward. And I think for me, it makes a lot of sense, because some of the things, for instance, that we learned 10, 15 years ago when we left university, they are no longer relevant in this market. And if you don't have that drive to pick up new skills, learn new things, then it becomes very difficult to, I think,
Yeah.
progress in the organization. Now that I have you on this call, there's this famous saying that fake it until you make it. Do you think that works in the workplace?
It depends. It depends on how fake you are. So let me put it on the positive manner. So, for instance, if I have to go and negotiate, or you go to do something, there is a piece of fear, but you need to pretend to be courageous, you need to pretend to be strong, you need to pretend, you see. So this, you can say, okay, I fake it, blah, 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 blah. Another thing is, I read it and I think it works. If you want like $10 million, act as if you have it. It will come.
Yeah.
So you, but don't say to people you have $10 million. This will not be true. But it's more of how you prepare your unconscious mind to take on this scenario. If you look at like professional athletes, before playing a game, they play the game to the mind.
Yeah.
Before going to negotiation, they play the negotiation to the mind. I think this the positive, the positive note I will give to it, because if you don't do that, you might be surprised. You don't used to go to nice restaurant to eat, and then, as you mentioned, you have your interview. The guys call you into a restaurant, and you are not comfortable. You are more worried about how the food looks like than what will be discussed.
Yeah, no,
So
that's
yeah.
that's very true. I'm very happy to see one of my very good childhood friends on the live feed. Bale, good to see you. So this guy, we grew up in the same neighborhood, very intelligent and sharp guy. Happy to see you, my man. So looking at just how you've transitioned in your career, the sort of growth that you've scored along the way, are there any tips that you would give anyone who wants to pursue a similar path like yours?
Okay. First of all, when you have a new role, congratulations. Go buy yourself something you like, enjoy it, and at the same time, when you finish it, think about what impact you want to do on that role. Empower people around you. Well, I mean, you may not have direct reports, but create connection to work with people easily. Be open-minded. Set your rule. What you will allow, what you will not, and be agile. Don't judge people by the cover of a book, but be humble. And this is quite difficult, but you need to do that to give like empathy. Listen to people, listen to people, listen to people, and design what will be your next step. uh, it may be not what it may change, but at least put something clear that you want where to be, because if you don't have a destination, your car will not move. You will be having to pay for fuel, etc. But your car will not make progress. So make progress means that having a clear direction and seize opportunity to learn. If you have that, it will be easier for you to manage with a difficult boss, because you will see handling this difficult boss. Is it helping me to go and succeed on my journey, or is it that I'm wasting time? But if you don't have that purpose, you may just stop there. So you need to be very, very careful about it. It will also help you to be clear on question or ask that you do to your boss or your colleague. What kind of challenge you want to take on? What kind of mentor you need? So for me, these are things. So even now, I'm thinking about next step, to be honest, because I'm thinking, okay, what should be the impact? What should be? But I'm getting myself ready and my colleagues ready also for me to move to the next step. Because if you stop, you may fall, but get up, run. If you cannot run, walk. If you cannot walk, crawl. But don't stop, because the younger generation needs you, is more anger. Your kids, your family are watching at you, your friends are watching at you. They expect big things for you. So think about it. And remember one key thing, I think it's very important. When you were looking for that job, when you were alone, dreaming of that job you apply for, you pay transportation to go to the meetings. Remember, remember that you are on that job now. So for every people thinking about you, wishing to be you, please give them like the honor to say, okay, guys, what you're expecting, I'm doing it very well for you. So yeah.
No, thank you so much for that elaborate answer. And Tinta, thank you so much for your comments as well. And I think in one of your comments, you mentioned that it's important to listen and keep listening to people that you're working with. And I think for me, that's a very important aspect of growth. So over the years, Fabrice, I think there's been a major shift from the notion that the workplace is pretty much a stage where people are acting. And when you are acting, you put on a certain costume. When you go out of the workplace, you take off that costume. It's like having two different people at work and in society. But again, over time, again, there's been a drive towards bringing your authentic self to work. What would you advise is the best way of striking that balance between being this good actor at work, which gets you the recognition you need, and at the same time being authentic?
That's a good one. I think if I say to people, be authentic, it will be, how comedian are you? How big are you? And if I say to you, just play your actor role, then you come home and you are exhausted. So I like to be very long on my answer because I like to give context. One context is that in the past, you drive your car, you go at work, you go home, you don't think about your job. There is no email, there is no, you can clearly separate yourself from, it's like a teacher going into a classroom, you do your things, you go home. Now, even we are doing this chat, but some of my colleagues will see me, people will see me. So is it the same? Jean Fabrice, is it? So being authentic means that being, I would say, integrity. This is, instead of say authentic, say integrity.
Mm-hmm.
Am I honest when I talk to you and give you feedback? Am I, what I'm saying to you as advice at work, is it the same that I would say to myself? The way I treat the person at the door or at the board meeting, is it the same way I'm doing? So this is instead integrity. And we are in a professional world, so professional world has rules. I need to be polite. I need to be, as I mentioned, collaborative. If I disagree with you, I need to disagree with you on point, on opinion, or on fact, with fact. This is called integrity and professionalism. I'm not going to say, okay, I don't like Jacob. Why you don't like Jacob? I mean, we are not on the same. What? So this is where if you go try to please someone and do politics to go against someone, then you are no longer not integrity finish. You are not like, you may call it authentic, but it's integrity. I disagree with you, guys. We have this meeting. I think this, and who take the decision? Is it the boss? Is it you? Is it someone else? The person, the decision maker, make the decision, and we are fine. We go with it. The rapper will say it's personal. This is business, but this is what we call being authentic, is to be to show integrity. This is for your family. Imagine you come, you are not yourself, and the type of job that we are doing involves more and more interaction with people. So if you are not yourself and you are faking, to take that other word we talked about, and you are faking, what will happen? You will be exhausted, you will be stressed, you will be someone that you are not, because you, okay, so this is the way I see it. Emotional intelligence, very important. When you come to office, be professional, be honest. Doesn't mean being rude, because you have these people, me, when I say the truth, I say the truth. You are not saying the truth, you are being rude.
Exactly.
Don't be rude to people. There is a way to give your point of view, to not offend someone. If someone is offended because you are giving your point of view, ask yourself, are you talking facts? Are you talking element? So you need to make sure that, because these people say, me, I'm telling the truth. You are not telling the truth. There are parts of your life where you lie, so don't tell that you you tell the truth every single minute, but don't be rude. That's very important.
Absolutely. So, Charity, I can see Sonia, Nana, Chocho, you've joined the chat. Thank you so much. So, if you guys have any questions for Fabrice, I think feel free to type them in the comment section, and I think we'll have them addressed. So, Fabrice, it's been very interesting, especially for me to get direct feedback from an HR professional. I think most of the time as employees, we don't really know what you guys look at, or what we should do in order for us to get ahead. So it's so insightful to know that you consider all these small things when it comes to making decisions in terms of who to promote and just who to elevate to certain positions in the organization. Now, one other thing that I've also noticed, having worked for this period of time, is that when you're in the workplace, the desire to really grow in your career at some point, it shrinks. It could be because you've become too comfortable with what you're doing, or you are not just ambitious enough for you to go ahead. And maybe it could be that you're just not receiving the necessary support that you want for you to grow in your career. So looking at all these things, I know you've touched a little bit on this in terms of how someone can reignite their passion for what they do and just propel themselves forward. Is it advisable for someone to leave a company when they start feeling that way? What's been your experience?
I would say, first of all, why are you leaving? I think this is very important because you clearly need to understand why you are leaving. Are you leaving because you are frustrated? Then you will bring your frustration in another company to other people, and it will not end up. So clearly, this is you need to know why, and it comes back to purpose. So imagine being a senior executive. Is it that your only goal, a position or a ranking into the organization? What, where will you put impact? Where will you put impact? What will be your valuable contribution beyond your company? So this is where being part of network is very important because then your value is known and you also give your value to the community. Here, when I say community, to your professional world. If you are recognized as a trusted marketeer that really know consumers and know how brand impact life in a way that you really contribute beyond your company and your work is known, then you are a valuable person for the world. And then the opportunity will be so many for you that you will not be shocked because while working for a company you will be also contributing and giving that value. So why living is when you cannot do both. If you stop being happy, like truly happy, and you see that you are not really contributing for your company and for your community, then you can look for a job where you will do both. Because the more you contribute for your community, the more people knows what you are about to bring to the table, the opportunity will be endless. So you will see a lot of CEOs now being multiple or people say serials entrepreneur or sitting in multiple boards because of their value. And
That's
this
true.
is what you need to think about. What value I can bring to the table. How I build trust and contribution for me to be seen and also play that part. And then, you see, remember your company is a tree into a forest. Uh, that's
That's that's a very good perspective. I know I've had you close to an hour now, and I didn't plan to keep you very long. So I guess in closing, the question that I had was a lot of things I think have changed from the time you and I started working. The sort of skills that these new guys, fresh graduates, bring into the organization and just how we've been doing things along the way, I think there seem to be some sort of clash in terms of how they perceive things, how the old generation perceives things. So, in terms of advising both camps, what would you say would be the right way of them becoming vulnerable enough to be able to work with the other side? And what are some of the pointers that you can give them in terms of advancing collaboration?
so. I think first of all, we need to acknowledge that we are human beings, and if you start with that, human resources. Though I will talk about human, so take it as a human. If you take the difference of generation at workplace, It has started in the 80s. It becomes a big topic in the 2000s, and now we are all together mingled into the workplace. So be human and understand that when you come into a company, you need to value, so I'm taking for the younger now, you need to value the contribution of the people you are finding here. And as you want to go upward within the organization, you need to understand what they have done and where you want to go and how these people can help you to go there. If you think like that, you will create a bridge for communication with them using their experience. This is what I like talking with also old people because I'm buying time. I'm buying time if you share your experience with me or how you navigate in things. I'm buying time instead of having to process it myself.
Exactly.
I'm buying time with you. So I become more equipped in a shorter time. So don't take it for competition. This is another thing. Don't take it for competition. Collaborate. And then these people, it may be hard. I can tell you that when I was an intern, I go to do photocopy for a lady. When I went to the office, he said, "Get out of my office. You came here to take our job." I was like, it doesn't have to be now so blunt or so rude, but you may face it. But you will also find other people keen to share their story, keen to learn. So you need to navigate through that. And say again, they are not your showstopper. Your trip, they are part of your trip, but they are not your destination. For the older, I will say the beautiful things that you will do when you will be retired is to look at all the leaders that you have built, regardless of your position in an organization. How many people you contribute to their career. You can see this guy is become a minister, this guy is become a big doctor. But you remember that when the guy started, you give him like a withdrawal for his role, etc., small advice, etc. And when you look at it from the back, that is where pride is. Because at the end of the day, all the competition we are having now will die. When we'll have 70, 80, my friend, you will not remember that you were driving a Ferrari because, it's outdated.
Absolutely.
But how many people you help? So when young people comes to you, instead of getting competition with them, take it as opportunity for you to also share, but also create network. Better know someone successful than knowing no one being successful. So is also a
Agreed.
way to see it. And if you don't, I like this one also. It's a personal thought. Sometimes God want to bless you by blessing someone else. God doesn't need you into that person's life, but because He wants to bless you, He brings such people into your corner. So please give water to that person so that at least
That's a good one.
you will you will get some blessing. But on serious notes, one, no matter regardless of your age in a company, write down your purpose and your objective and being positive about life. Second things, when you can help, truly help, because we are here to help each other to grow. This is very, very important. Last things, being courageous means that learning agility, face that I don't know. Today we are talking about artificial intelligence, my brother. Today when you go to Google, even Google can tell you like many things. You ask yourself, what am I? But the reality is that take it as an opportunity because when TV was coming or phone was coming, jobs, people were losing jobs, but today it has increased productivity. So what will I get out of it? What opportunity am I getting with it? So this is very, very important. I had some session, I think last year with some professional on how to navigate with multiple generation at workplace. It's clearly some things, but be aware and understand that this is part of the game. Don't take it too much seriously.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Tinta had a very interesting question for you. She was
Okay.
asking how you deal with boredom. Like, if you start getting bored at work, how do you deal with that?
It's something that happens sometimes, but the question I ask myself, I have limited time, so what can I learn new? So I take this time to do trainings. You remember, Jacob, I call you for some trainings online, da 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 da,
Yeah.
because these are opportunity given to you to get ready for your next time. This idle time are time for you to beef up your car, to beef up your materials, and get ready for the next. God is very clever, my friend. So sometimes He gives you that you go is not exciting. And sometimes worse, your boss wants you to be there.
Yeah.
And you feel like really I'm wasting my time. So two things. First of all, look to take this time to learn new things or things that will propel you to your next level. And when you see that you are at the top and you enough is enough, move. Look for that opportunity that is waiting for you to be more challenged, to be more productive, etc.
That's a nice one. So Yusuf is also asking if you have any tips on successful conflict management.
This is a everyday thing. I think my background as a legal person. I think you also have that background. I think it's to always try. It's difficult, but one thing when someone is in conflict with you, take some time and think: Why am I pissed up with this person? What personal feelings are involved? Take these 5 minutes. Is it that the person touched something I really, really don't like? Like, is it my value? So why in this issue I'm emotionally involved? Is it a value that I have that has been broken? Is it that a truth that someone told me that I don't want to be heard? And once you know your part in it, go into the person choose why this person is acting like that, what is happening like that, da da da. So if it's a matter of respect, make clear to the person that you have not appreciated because from your standpoint, you haven't appreciated the lack of respect. You take it as a lack of respect.
Mm-hmm.
You have that honest conversation, and you are at peace with you at least. If it is someone that you can do anything, but maybe you can find someone into the company or someone else that can come and try to help you both, then take that person and make sure that your point is clear, the point, and move on. And again, on conflict at work, we have many, many, many examples, but this is one illustration that I've done. Sometimes conflict can be that you deal with low performer. Sometimes you deal with a demanding boss. Sometimes you deal with someone they say is the way the person is. Nobody wants to touch that person. So depending on the situation, always step back. Do Aikido. Aikido means that you use the strength of others to your benefit.
Uh-huh.
It's difficult because your emotional and psychological weight that you will pull in is a lot. And sometimes your default reaction is to say, why? People don't talk me like that. And you go and fight. And the more you go to confront with people, you will lose. A small issue will be a big one. So always try to ask, why am I'm not happy with the situation? Is it fact? What are the facts? It's difficult, but this is what it takes to be leaders. And I like to put it as a father. If you are a father and your two kids are fighting, or you are fighting with your kids, will you hurt your kids, or will you think way around to solve the issue?
Yeah.
This is why leadership is difficult. Because even people that are not your parents, friends, you need to deal with it as it is, and this is difficult.
Absolutely. No, thank you so much, Fabrice. It's been nice having this conversation. I think the last time we met was like 2019. Good to
I
see
need
you
to come
again.
over, my friend.
Yeah. Good to see you again, and it's so nice to learn about all this progress that you've been making in your career. And thank you so much also for just finding time to share your leadership insights around how people can progress in their careers and some of the pitfalls they need to avoid. Because I think some of us, if we had all these tips growing up, I think we would have been very different people. So thank you so much. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. You're
Catch
welcome.
up later.
Sure. Thank you, everyone, and have a lovely weekend.
You too. Bye bye. Good night.
Bye.